Good morning and welcome back to B for TV, your daily dose of industry information. Today's episode is focused in once again on postponed VAT accounting, and we're joined by Pawel from our policy and compliance team to find out more. So, Pawel, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you, Brooke.
Now, I know PVA, it's a topic that we've talked about a couple of times on here, and it's an incredibly important topic to our members. So, what's been the recent update? Are there any changes?
The policy itself hasn't changed.
Mhm.
It hasn't changed since it was first introduced.
Yeah.
What has changed quite recently, actually, is the fact that CDS is now capable of validating VAT numbers,
Mhm.
and it was one of the issues we grappled with for a long
Yeah.
time, and it was very high on BIFA's priority
Mhm.
list. We worked with HMRC to change
Yeah.
that, and now CDS is actually able to validate a VAT number when you submit a customs
Mhm.
declaration. A massive improvement,
Yeah.
because only a few months ago, a couple of months ago, in fact, when you submitted a customs declaration and you declared PVA as a method of payment of import VAT, you could just use any sequence of
Right. Okay.
letters, well, not letters, digits, and it would accept it as a valid VAT
Right.
number.
Okay.
Just wasn't validating that so long as the format was all right.
Mhm.
Today, it's not the case. It
Yeah.
actually validates it actively, so that helps our members. That helps our members remain compliant,
Yeah.
and I think it's a very important change. So nothing in terms of the actual policy change, but technically, yeah, we see a major improvement.
Mhm.
What I would add is our usual sort of due diligence. That's still very, very important.
Yeah.
So even though the system validates VAT numbers, you still have to be properly empowered
Yeah.
to use PVA. So obviously, with that, you still have to do your own due diligence.
Mhm.
Still, you need to make sure that your customer is VAT registered.
Yeah.
There's easy ways of doing that. We know how to do it.
Mhm.
Compliance shouldn't be an issue here. You just have to remember to do it. You have to make sure that you are empowered to use PVA,
Yeah.
and that should protect you.
Mhm.
That's the important thing. And I'll move on to the other thing. I think PVA is. I don't want to say it was a controversial policy to begin with. I think we all welcomed that. But there were a number of questions about agents' liability, and I
Yeah.
think it's good to sort of, again, remind members that if they are properly empowered to use PVA, their position is safer in many ways,
Mhm.
uh, because the legal assumption is when PVA is used properly, that or import VAT obligation has been essentially met.
Yeah.
VAT's been it's not paid,
Mhm.
obviously hasn't been paid, someone still has to account for it. But the agent is unlikely to become subject to any enforcement action,
Yeah.
even if there's an underpayment for whatever reason.
Mhm.
Obviously, again, I will say this, you have to be properly empowered.
Yeah.
So it's very important that we understand this, because this particular type of protection extends to both direct and indirect representation,
Mhm.
which is quite unusual in many ways. So it's important that members understand that.
So when we're looking at this, what is kind of the key message that you want to give our members?
The usual message again, due diligence,
Yeah.
know your customer, understand your own obligations, but at the same time, make sure that you're properly empowered. You have instructions, you have clear instructions. You can't just say, I've spoken to somebody. No, you want to have something in writing in case a customs officer comes and audits your books. So that's the usual sort of type of guidance and well, advice we give. But like I say, this time that due diligence element becomes a little easier.
That's perfect. Thank you so much, Pavel, for the
Thank you.
update. If you do have any questions on this topic, we will put Pavel's contact details in the description so you can find out more. That's all for today's edition of B for TV, your daily dose of industry information.
Today's episode of Beaver TV is sponsored by CNS. CNS Customs software simplifies declarations with powerful features that transform how businesses manage customs.